So what happened there? That inmate become angry and take an axe and start blocking up the windows and so on. Nevertheless, it caused what we call mutiny in the prison. So the officer in charge sent for call me for fights were going on. And I said, I can't intervene into this. So I had to join them. Because I'm an inmate. I feel that plight. So I said, we take over this place. Myself and a few others, I passed my instruction and said, call the officers in the building, like if you want to notify them something is desperately taking place, and we're going to stick them up, which we did. Lock them into a cell. And I then lock off the doors. I said I need the director of prison. If he don't come, if you shoot me from the time you shoot me, and me finger fall, those two officers in there, finish with. They didn't understand what I'm saying. And there and then, I prove what I'm saying, and I drop my hands, and the yard hut inside of the yard went on fire with mattresses. They then asked to out it. I said, if y'all shoot me, I have a problem with those two, y'all ain't gonna get count because I'll make history. And we decided to create a havoc by lighting the prisons afire. And they call upon me to resolve the situation. I said, I'm not a part of it anymore. And right there and then it go AY. And being honestly speaking, I decided to light the fire in prison, which I did. I was really and truly was beaten to some extent of unconsciousness. Being hospitalized, I had to go on a skin graft and all such like. Where my hurts came from, I would want to say is that it came from my family. Why it came from my family is because not knowing what is a parental care from a father, I don't know what it is to say father. I never know my father until 1988. I born the 23rd of July 1966. Okay? My mother meet a stage whereby she ended up now handing me over to my foster parents, which is a stepfather. And I felt abused. And this is where my life go in a negative direction. All because I never really had a role model. If it wasn't for people like Mr. Jeffrey that came into the prison to help me to understand what is anger, what is resentment, and what is some form of pain. My life continued going on in, out of prison. After I finished burning down Mansioni prison and holding officers as hostages and so forth, I always tell myself I could change the system by myself with the kind of negative, or should I say unacceptable behavior that transpired with me and others. And until I able to receive liberty is when the person by the name of Mr. Pastor Jeffrey came into the institution, who fought the same battle, the same circumstances, and I just don't want to give him that credit, which it ought to be. I need to give God it, because the reason why for doing such, God used him in a particular area to help people to be redeemed. And because I was searching to find love and affection, I was going in all sorts of directions. The Spirit of God used him to come into the institution and help prisoners to be explored and to help persons to obtain repatriation. The deliverance of messages that you have given to us is because you know where the pain is. It helps you to search yourself. It helps you to ask yourself questions. For instance, what am I living for? Break it down to say, what is my purpose? Prisoners or ex-offenders like myself need more spiritual therapy than physical therapy. Persons like myself need healing, and persons is not there to heal them. Mr. Jeffrey helped me to understand, based upon the scripture, you can't deal with the person in flesh and blood anymore. The person angry. Angry just don't come only from an emotional perspective. It's a spirit. Okay? So what Mr. Jeffrey helped us to understand is to know who you are Because lots of people, even I'm very sorry to say, but I have to say it, many pastors of the day, you should ask them what is their purpose. They were not able to tell you. And I called Mr. Jeffrey for financial assistance for situations for me to help me to get out of prison. But he also need help. If it wasn't for Mr. Jeffrey initiative, what he need to set, because he happened to fall just like myself, is to bring the ministry into practical activities to help a person to redeem yourself. He helped to change my perspective. And in all of my walks of life, I have never able to achieve knowledge in such of a remarkable manner. Nobody ever tell me them things. I never know myself until coming into contact with Pastor Jeffrey. And this is what persons like the teachings of the knowledge that Mr. Jeffrey embark in us, help us to realize how to overcome. For persons like myself and others who don't have no way to go, instead of return back into the streets, we could have some way to go. We already have a plan. He have bring statistics and clarity to show us whereby that this program gonna be on stream. We already have the plan drawn. Now I'm out of prison. I'm presently now trying to liaison with him and other inmates that who coming out and who is already out, that we could able to have a collective body, men of purpose, that we could able to show society that we have a role and we are leaders, and we need to redeem ourselves and come together under one umbrella. We as inmates need spiritual and physical health. Many of us, our family reject us. We're being rejected because why? We don't have no way to go. People say you come back in jail. This is what the officers will say. There's a whole jail, man, you come back in jail. But I tell them plain, you fail your duty towards helping me to refrain from coming to prison. There is no system presently now. But what I safely want to publicize is that Pastor Jeffrey, who came right back to Guyana, outlining facts of information, visible facts, failing to have the support. He didn't just jump just to do it. It's God put it for it. Because he have me here, and I'm going through this formality, this protocol, and I respect it. I'm prepared to go down this road because I fell up a prison. I had enough of prison. And many times when I have to speak about prison, I feel it as much as a woman who is pregnant.
For all to see it, take your candle and go light your world. Take your candle.